Welcome to 632 Social Justice in Public Health. We're going to spend the next 14 weeks trying to understand justice. I'd like to begin with a quotation from a famous speech.
Our forward stride toward the city of freedom, when our days become dreary with low hovering clouds of despair, when our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, let us remember that there is a creative force in this universe working to pull down the gigantic mountains of evil, a power that is able to make a way out of no way and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. Let us realize that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
The arc of the moral universe is long, and it bends towards justice. This famous quotation, first written by abolitionist Theodore Parker, and since made famous by others. So what does this mean? What is this arc of the universe, and how does it bend? And what does it mean to bend towards justice? So what kind of thing is justice? Is it an intuition? Is it a rational position? Is it a feeling? Is it all of these things? How do we wrap our heads around the concept of justice, and how do we incorporate justice into our ideas of public health? That's what this course is all about. And I want to begin with our intuitions. The idea that we have feelings about what justice is. We intuit. We have a conscience that divines it. And this is something that we share with all sorts of life forms on the planet. The concept of fairness.
So what we did is we put two capuchin monkeys side by side. Again, these animals, they live in a group. They know each other. We take them out of the group, put them in a test chamber. And there's a very simple task that they need to do. And if you give both of them cucumber for the task, the two monkeys side by side, they're perfectly willing to do this 25 times in a row. So cucumber, even though it's really only water in my opinion, but cucumber is perfectly fine for them. Now, if you give the partner grapes, the food preferences of my capuchin monkeys correspond exactly with the prices in the supermarket. And so if you give them grapes, it's a far better food than you create inequity between them. So that's the experiment we did. Recently, we videotaped it with new monkeys who had never done the task, thinking that maybe they would have a stronger reaction, and that turned out to be right. The one on the left is the monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape, and you will see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber, and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here.
reasonable voice.
That's Ryan Carey.
This guy too. This guy right here. Get down. Get down. Get down. I'm just journalist. No way, sir.
The arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. We have a feeling that we know what this means. We kind of intuitively grasp this bending towards justice. And yet, what does it mean? What is justice? These are the questions that are going to guide us throughout the whole semester. And we will see different ideas of what justice is, different perspectives, so that we can better hone in on our own understanding of what that is and contribute to the debate about the meanings of justice. One definition comes from Aristotle. In a work called The Politics, Aristotle writes that all people lay hold on justice of some sort. And as we saw, it's not just people. But all people lay hold on justice of some sort, says Aristotle, and do not express the principle of absolute justice in its entirety. For instance, it is thought that justice is equality, and so it is, though not for everybody, but only for those who are equals. And it is thought that inequality is just, for so indeed it is, but not for everybody, but for those who are unequal. But the partisans, he says, strip away qualifications of the persons concerned, and they judge badly. This definition is an important starting point for us. Justice is when equals are treated equally. And justice is when unequals are treated unequally. So justice is both equality and inequality. Here's a thought experiment to help us understand this. Let's say we're in a class, and I walk in one day with a bag of M&Ms, and I start distributing this valuable resource. And to one student, I give 1, and to another, I give 3, to still another, I give 5 M&Ms, and to still another, I give 10 M&Ms, another one, 2 M&Ms, and on and on. The response from you, who are lovers of candy, is that this is an unfair distribution. That the fairest distribution, for me to be fair, would be to give everyone an equal amount. So after this experiment, I come in the next day and I say, okay, you want to be treated equally? Everybody is going to get a C- in this class. I can do it. I fill out the forms at the end of the semester. And so that you want to be treated equally? Here, everybody gets a C-. The response here again is, that's unfair. And the reason is that people are unequal in the distribution of grades. And so for one distribution, the distribution of candy, everybody should be treated equally. And for the second distribution, the distribution of grades, people ought to be treated unequally. This simple experiment shows that sometimes equality is most important, and at other times inequality is most important. When we get to more complicated distributions, the questions of when inequality or equality ought to hold sway become important. Throughout our course, we will see that different theorists of justice will have different ideas, not just about equality and inequality, but about distribution itself and about the kind of people that we become as a result of our ideas of justice. The readings for this week are about establishing a connection between social justice and public health. I look forward to seeing your ideas in the discussion area this week on these essential readings.